Back straight, close your eyes, take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in, hold it there. Oh, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yo Antah Pravishya Mama Vacham Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatya Shakti Dharasva Dhamna Anyansha Hasta Charana Shravanatvagadin प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं समचरण सरोजं सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभं जघननिहितपाणिं मण्डनं मण्डनानां तरुणतुलसीमालां कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदयधवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas present in tonight's Eknati Bhagavad session. We have begun chapter 17 and we have completed first 240 OEs. Tonight we'll straightaway start with 241. He does not rob others of any of their possessions, does not lift anything belonging to others either surreptitiously or without permission. 242. O Uddhava, the third quality is not to steal. The person having the quality does not take even a pie which is earned by unlawful means. 243. Not only this, but he has no greed for money even, earned by lawful means. He has no thought of attraction to women. His mind considers every woman as if she is his mother. 244. Even he does not desire to enjoy his own wife, but keeps minimum relations in order to fulfill his duties of a householder. 245. O Dhava, this is called absence of desire, which is the fourth quality. Now listen to the quality of non-anger. 246. When there is no influence of desire, anger cannot enter. This is like the sky, which is not hurt by any weapon. 247. Or it is like a good seed, which cannot grow up as a plant when the soil is not proper. Similarly, anger cannot rise without desire. 248. Just as when a pregnant woman dies, the child in her womb also dies, so also when a man discards passion totally, anger is also banished. 249. When the head of a man is cut, his body, hands, and feet cannot move. Similarly, when desire ends, anger also ends. 250. Now, where desire and anger are absent, greed has no place. Where there is no good soil, no plant can be grown. 251. When all the hair on the head are shaved, how can the lice remain there? Similarly, when desire and anger disappear, the greed also cannot rise in the mind. 252. When the husband dies, the honor of his wife also ends. Similarly, without desire and anger, greed cannot exist. 253. Please understand this quality as absence of greed. Really, it is the desire which is the cause of anger and greed. 254. How is it? When desire is not fulfilled, anger arises. And in the very function of desire for anything, greed is always present. 255. Just as flame of a lamp is always with the light as well as soot, Similarly, the anger and greed are always inseparable from desire. 256. Just as shivering and sweating always accompany malaria fever, the passion, the desire, is always connected with anger and grief. 257. When desire does not get a place, anger and greed naturally disappear. No special effort is required to drop them from the mind. 258. In short, if you drop your desires, the anger and the greed are also no more. Now, please listen to how the welfare of ourselves and all beings can be achieved through love. 259. We must try to do good to others as is possible for us within our limits. We should give them what is their dire necessity. 260. We should give the deep compassion to others, such things as food, clothes, donations, monetary help, proper respect, etc., and help them to live comfortably. This is the duty of persons belonging to all the castes. Please note this important thing. 261. We should give them the things they like, and their needs are also the same, and we should not give them things which they like but which are harmful and impediments in the way of their natural human perfection. 262. I, the God Almighty, reside in the home of the man who helps other people for achieving their welfare. 263. When he is busy in his philanthropy, I personally destroy all his calamities, even without his knowledge. 264. I am dwelling in the hearts of all beings as Paramatman, and I make this man happy who is dear to all beings because he is kindly doing everything to help all. 265. The virtues which are told just now to you include non-violence are all the duties pertaining to all individuals, not to particular caste or ashram. 266. Thus, so far, I have told you the nature and qualities of all the four castes, the nature of those who are outside the framework of castes and ashrams, and duties of all castes, etc. 267. Now, O Uddhava, I shall tell you the duties of persons according to their stage in their personal life. First, listen to the duties in bachelorhood. 268. Bachelorhood is of two types. One is called Naishtike and the other is called Upakurvana. Listen to the nature of person belonging to either of the two types. 269. After thread ceremony, a boy goes to his preceptor's house or school to study Vedas and scriptures, and if, after completion of studies, he, instead of becoming a householder after marriage, continues to be a bachelor, he is belonging to the type called Naishthika. 270. One who completes his study, pays his total fees Guru Dakshina, and marries with appropriate ceremony and begins his family life is belonging to the type called Upakurvana. Vitiyam prapnu Vitiyum prapyanuपूर्व्यात् जन्मोपनयनन् द्विजः वसन् गुरुकुले तान्तः ब्रह्माधीत चाहुतः मेखलाजिनदण्डाक्ष ब्रह्मसूत्रकमण्डलून् जटिलोद्धौत तद्वासः आरक्तपीठकुशान्दधत् स्नानभोजनहोमेषु जपोच्चारे च वाग्यतः न छिन्द्यान्नखरोमाणि कक्षोपस्थगतान्यपि. Meaning of the verses. Having undergone in the due course the rites after birth, naming ceremony, etc., a second birth in the shape of thread ceremony and dwelling in the house of the Guru with self-control, the male child should learn to recite Vedas and reflect on their meanings when called upon to do so. The bachelor should wear around his waist a girdle of a particular grass and a piece of a deer skin and wear a string of Rudraksha beads around his neck and the sacred thread across his left shoulder. He should carry a staff of Palasha tree and a water pot and a bunch of kusha grass in his palm, and on his head he should grow matted locks. He should never brush his teeth, not apply soap, etc. to his clothes, and should never use a red colored seat. He should remain silent while bathing taking his meals, pouring oblations into the sacred fire, doing japa, and also while answering nature's calls. He should not cut his nails nor remove hair, even in his armpits and on his private parts. 271. The earlier ceremonies like Garbhadhana, Kunsamana, Jatakarma, Annaprasana, etc. are over prior to the Chaula Karma. 272. Then there is a thread ceremony and the Guru gives invitation to the boy teaching him how to recite Gayatri Mantra. This is called Vrata Bandha and it is also called the second birth by name Savitra. 273. In this way, persons belonging to the three upper castes are supposed to have been born twice. This is the stage of bachelorhood and the person is supposed to learn to recite Vedas. 274. I shall tell you now what are the habits and vows of the bachelor residing at the home of his guru. 275. He has to wear a girdle of munja grass around his waist and a piece of deer skin. He has to wield a stick of palasha tree and a pot to carry water for mandalu. 276. He has not to shave any hair, not to use oil, etc. for bath, not to comb his hair, nor brush his teeth. 277. He has not to cut his nail and not to remove hair even from armpit and other places of the body. 278. He has not to use laundered clothes. He has to take bath in flowing cold water like river, etc. in the morning and in the afternoon. 279. He should use white cloth for a seat and take a string of rudraksha beads or lotus seeds. 280. He should use kusha grass. Now please listen about the observance of silence. 281. While repeating God's name, offering oblations in the sacred fire, while taking meals, while doing morning and evening prayers, Sandhya, he should keep silence. He should also not talk while answering nature's call and also while taking bath. 282. As he has not to take bath using oil, etc., and not to comb his hair, naturally his hair becomes matted on his head. These are the things a bachelor has to observe. 283. He should be alert in serving his guru and he should learn Vedas only when his guru himself wishes to teach. 284. He should never insist, sir, please teach me just now. He should obey the orders of his guru and serve him with faith and without guile. 285. To leave one guru for the reason that he is not teaching fast enough and to join other guru's guru is very undesirable. 286. He should do service to the Guru with such a steady cheerfulness that the Guru will himself be kind and take upon himself to teach the student for more time. 287. He should have devotion to the feet of the Guru, recite Vedas, learn scriptures, and study the meaning of those books for spiritual benefit. Reto navakire chatu brahma vratadhara swayam avakirne vagayapsu yadasu stripadin japet. Meaning of the verse. He should not discharge his semen intentionally because he is a bachelor. And if it is discharged unknowingly, like in a dream, he should take bath and recite Gayatri Mantra 108 times. 288. In this way, the bachelor has to conduct himself. He should not discharge his semen intentionally. This is the main condition. 289. If in the dream state it happens, he should take cold water bath and recite Gayatri Mantra for purification of consciousness. 290. The bachelors, the forest dwellers, and the sannyasis are prohibited from voluntary discharge, and if any commits it, he is considered to be a sinner, and it is a breach of duties of ashrama. 291. If the semen is discharged in dream, he should take proper bath, and for mental purification, he should repeat Gayatri Mantra. Agnyarkacharya go vipra guru vriddha suranchuchihi samahita upasita sandhye chayata vagjapan. Meaning of the verse. With his body clean and his mind calm, he should worship the fire and the sun god. Acharya, the cow, the Brahmins, the preceptor, the elders, and the gods, and should observe prayers 3 times every day. 292. The Guru who teaches Gayatri is Acharya. He is Guru, and parents are also Guru. Fire, the sun god, the cow, the respectable Brahmins and elder persons, 293, are to be worshipped, for which the bachelor should always be clean in body and have peaceful mind. He should be suppliant to the Guru and respect his parents. 294. Fire is worshipped by offering oblations. Gods like Indra are worshipped by prayers. Brahmins should be treated with respect, and sun god should be offered arghya, water. 295. Parents are worshipped by salutations. Cow is worshipped by caressing with kindness and feeding it. And Sandhya prayers should be silently uttered. Note, Sandhya prayers may be uttered with normal speech. 296. Sadguru is the greatest among all and worthy of respect by everybody. The Lord Sri Krishna is now telling Uddhava about the greatness of Sadguru. Acharyam mam vijaniyat navamanyeta karhichit namartya buddhya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guruhu. Meaning of the verse. The Acharya should be taken as me and he should not be insulted in any way, considering him to be only a mortal man. Guru is containing within himself all the gods. 297. The God who is in each and every being, he who is the Atman of the cosmos and fills the whole universe, he who is immeasurable and without any limit is myself, and I am the Guru of the disciple. 298. The name of the Guru is the God himself, and I fulfill the aspirations of the disciple, considering the faith and the devotion. 299. In the toe of the Guru reside Brahma and innumerable other gods, and even in Vaikuntha and Kailasa, the stories of the glory of that Guru are listened to with great respect. 300. The god of the Yama and time fear as soon as they hear the name of Guru, and the three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, stand before him with folded hands. 301. Further, the secret of all the Vedas is the Guru himself, and the disciple must have that conviction and faith at all times. 302. Guru should not be insulted, thinking that he is only an ordinary man. If anyone criticizes or blames Guru, be sure that he is bound to meet destruction. 303. If any dear friend comes and starts criticizing Guru in your company, that friend should be avoided, just as people avoid meeting a fallen person who has changed his religion. If you cannot avoid your friend, you should run away from him under any pretext. 304. You should not listen to bad words about your Guru and should put your fingers in your ears. You should remember with faith your Guru silently in your mind and leave that place. 305. If you yourself indulge in blaming your Guru, take it from me that you are doomed, or your spiritual life is finished and there is no further progress for you. 306. You should not have doubt in your mind while worshipping your Guru by offering him whatever pure flowers or leaves or food is available. Sayam pratarupaniya bhaiksham tasmai nivedayat yachanyadapyanudnyatam upayunjita sanyataha. Meaning of the verse. You should bring alms from other houses both morning and evening and should offer it to your Guru, and also whatever other things you have received, you should also be offered to the Guru, and with his permission, you should use for yourself what he tells you to take, and every time your mind should be under control. 307. You should give to your Guru 3 times a day the alms which you receive, may it be food, money, flowers, or fruit. You should do this with due respect. 308. If your Guru tells you to eat something, you may eat that food, and you should not take any other eatable articles to fill your belly. 309. So in the morning and evening, the bachelor should take food only given by Guru and be content with it. 310. You should not be fussy about the taste and quality of that food and should not demand more. You should eat only that food which is essential to maintain your body. 311. You should not demand more. You should observe silence. If you eat more than what is given by your Guru, it will amount to disobedience. 312. If you take more food, you will feel drowsy, lazy, and sleepy. And if you take scanty food, your body will be weaker. 313. As it is necessary to be fit for the service of the Guru, the disciple should take proper food in right proportion. 314. To maintain our body healthy and fit for the service of Guru is primary necessity. Thus said the Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna. शुश्रूषमाण आचार्यं सदोपासीत नीचवत् यानशय्यासनस्थानैः नातिदूरे कृताञ्जलिः. Meaning of the verse. Doing the service to the preceptor, the student should always wait upon him with folded hands, like a menial, by following him wherever he goes, lying than when he is asleep, sitting when he is taking rest, after being relieved of his fatigue by kneading his feet, etc., and standing when he is comfortably seated, not far from him. 315. The student should be continuously in the service of his guru, remaining alert at all times. 315. When the guru is riding in any vehicle, he should briskly walk before him. And when he is walking, the disciple should follow him, taking his belongings on his shoulder. 317. When the guru needs, he should be give water, betel leaf, etc. When he wants to sit, the student should prepare his place of sitting and should nurse his feet. 318. He should not sit very near his guru, nor should he go far away, but should be waiting where guru can easily see him. 315. He should be ready with folded hands and should do any work as would it be hinted at by the guru. 320. When the guru is asleep, the disciple should not sit very near him, but if the guru calls, he should be available in the night time. 321. If the disciple is very proud that he is only disciple doing proper service of the guru, everything will be futile. 322. He should think himself to be the lowliest among the disciples, even servant of the guru. 323. He should not be ashamed to do any low type of work for the guru and should always be cheerful and should not be lazy at all. एवं वृत्तो गुरुकुले वसेत् भोगविवर्जितः विद्या समाप्यते यावत् बिभ्रत् प्रथमखण्डितम्. Meaning of the verse. The student should conduct himself as mentioned above and maintain his view of celibacy till his stay at the preceptor's house comes to an end. He should not indulge in any luxuries. 324. When the student lives like this, serving the guru at his house and without any pleasures, he becomes dear to all. 325. When his students are finished and when his studies are finished and he has served his guru well. 326. Then he has to adopt either one of the two vows, namely Naishtiki and Upakurvana. The Lord Sri Krishna is telling about this further. I think we can pause over here at 326. Beautiful verses. Towards the end, we heard how to serve Guru and how we can bring in the current context, because now we don't go and stay with the Guru. Singapore is blessed with so many Gurus coming year after year. Sometimes they come and stay there. So, in whichever way possible, we need to pick up points from here to offer our fullest, be subservient. That reduces our ego. Somewhere when we have an altar to bow our head is a point to nullify the ego. We hold so much I-ness, and we hold ourselves to a pedestal. Guru is a place where everything is surrendered. And who has seen God? Nobody has seen God. And Guru is that form where God is light and front. So when we have that bhav that this is Lord, automatically whatever is said will be followed. But if we read it like the rules, oh, we have to do this, then we feel, oh my God, this is not my, I don't want. But when we take that Lord has come in the form of Guru, it's Guruvayurappa, whichever is our Ishta Devata, then whatever we would try to do is also will be insufficient, and we would like to keep on offering more and more and serve Guru. Even to press the leg, sitting in satsang, pressing feet of the Guru, offering whatever we can, should be in best. So that like the last verses were really very good about Guru, how to serve Acharya, and all this comes in the Brahmacharya ashram. So in the context of the ashram, they have said that that the student is not to be worrying about how he looks. Some what branded clothes, what cosmetics. He's not even supposed to poke or shave. So nothing. He's not at all. There is he he should live like a servant only, serving the Guru. And without having a flinch of a doubt whether you'll teach me any time or not. 1 month has passed, 3 months have passed. And that specific line when they say not to switch gurus, no, we keep switching gurus, this satsang, that satsang. Oh, that satsang said this and that guru said this. Somewhere one altar we need in life where that person knows us in and out, our flaws, no need to hide, no need to mask, some place we need. Then the cleansing will actually start. But we hold so many masks, so actually nobody knows our true nature. So when a brahmachari is living in the ashram, the guru knows that personality in and out. Whether anger is there, whether the fighting is there, whether irritation is there, everything, all these negativities, then guru knows to do the treatment. It may not be always ashram means okay, learn Vedas and finish. There are so many personality layers that we carry which we don't show it out. So ashram is the place in front of Guru. We need all that polishing to happen. So those verses were excellent. But above all and the best were the starting verses. They were the nectar. I wish to write all those verses and frame it somewhere where the amazing verse, like I felt like underlining everything, and I means that desire, how it is the root cause of anger and greed. That was, and the examples that they gave, that was so super. Means anger cannot arise without desire. Man discards passion totally. Anger is also then banished. When desire ends, anger also ends. So all those 247, 248, 249, 250. Greed has no place where there is no anger and desire. Everything. And then that example, if head and hair is shape, where the lies will be there. Correct. So anger and greed, they don't exist where the desire. So again, 252 is like that. 253 is also absence of greed. 254. When a desire is not fulfilled, anger is arising. So desire for anything, then greed is present. So they have given that sequence. All of us will remember our Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Kamat Sanchayat. So we should again and again think on this and also evaluate our desires. We may not be greedy, we think, but it may be coming out in a different format, our desires. And if we have lived so much of our life, 40, 50, 60 years, fulfilling our various desires, in past 40, 50, 60 years, are we satisfied and all our desires are fulfilled? We should question, we should take a check. And then we'll start realizing, no, we have got so many yet desires to be fulfilled. So we are seekers. We read, but that transition has to happen. It's not suppressing the desire. That longing of that desire also should go. The desire for the desire. So we'll have to take certain measures in our lifestyle. So again, we'll go back to the food and what time we get up, at what time we sleep. All that will count to make the sattva utkata bhav in our minds. The rajasic, tamasic mind will have desires. And whole of that initial verses, shivering and sweating is accompanying in malaria. Like that, the passion, the desire is always connected with anger and greed. That is 256. Every word, 257, super. When desire does not get a place, anger and greed naturally disappear. No special effort is required to drop them from the mind. And Lord's assurance is there in 263. When he's busy in his philanthropy, I personally destroy all his calamities, even without his knowledge. So, some beautiful verses have happened in the initial reading. We started at 241, till 261 to 266. It's amazing. So the first 20-25 verses is something where we have to keep on reading and we should get over. And then that Naishtikya and the Upakurvana and all that Brahmacharya topic starts. And also to know all the samskaras, they have vaguely mentioned in 271. Garbhadhan samskara, Pulsaman, Jata karma, Natasha, Chaula karma, cutting the hair and all. And then comes this Upanayana samskara also. Anybody has any thoughts to add?
I was just like totally taken I mean, not surprised, but just the amount of that bachelorhood, that seva bhav, how much it must be like. No soap, no this thing, no nothing. It must become mattered. I think I was just imagining what type of that ego will be totally crushed. I mean, totally
Yes.
crushed. Yeah, I think after that
And
you will
as a
really don't have
teenager,
ego. Yeah,
as a teenager. So from
yeah.
8, 9 years, and from then onwards, they have to. So it is at that time when all the rising anger and things. So the personalities groomed and chipped at that age. Me, my God.
Even brushing your teeth, everything has to be totally like what you call.
We carry our cosmetic pouch, vanity bag, this pouch, that pouch, what not.
No need to carry anything.
Very good. Okay, so we continue tomorrow. Um, Venkatesh ji, tomorrow you would be able to read? Yes.
Sure,
Sajid,
sure, sure.
Sajid ji, on Wednesday you would read? Then we will see if somebody joins tomorrow. We'll ask that for Thursday then.
Okay.
That's it. Today's session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu Hari Om
Thank you,
everyone
Gopchak.
for
Thank you.
joining. Let's meet
Thank you.
tomorrow. Hari Om.
Yeah,
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Hari Om.